Hey, I'm Kelly Davis here with Second Story today, and I am talking with my good friend Carrie Stallings. Carrie recently joined us in this space. So, Carrie, what are you working on these days, and why are you at Second Story?
I just finished up a 6-part series on immigration. I have been working on it for over a year.
Don't say quote, like you were working, like you come in.
I'll tell you the reason I said the quotes. Because I didn't have a lot of time to work on it when I was at home. Because it's like, you know how it is, there's laundry loads to change, there's somebody to pick up, there's a call to answer. And so I joined Second Story in September. And I just finished that piece, which is about 20,000 words.
That's significant.
It was hefty. It was hefty. Yes, not for the faint of heart. But I probably did 80% of it, 75% of it between September and now. And 20% of it from last October.
So whenever you set a piece down, like whenever you start working on it and then you have to walk away, you know, because life or whatever, do you have to revisit all of that and like recraft it? Does your perspective change enough, or do you look at it with a different set of eyes in light of, you know, the world and everything that's happening? Does it change for you and you have to like recraft that? How did it work for you?
Over this period of time, yes. In this one, for kind of obvious reasons, the situation has changed dramatically in the last 12 months with immigration. But yeah, even at home, if I'm working on a piece, that is also part of the inefficiency. Is every time I get back in, I'm like, okay, where was I? What was I saying? What was I doing? Because when you have smaller chunks of time, you know, you can't stay in the flow as long, and you're just less productive. I was less productive, so. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you are the first author that we have interviewed on our microcast here, but not the first author that we've had roll through Second Story. So Jay Whitlow wrote his book here, The Echo Between Hope and Healing. And then John James has written, I think, not one, but perhaps two, or at least one, and started maybe a pieces of two in the Second Story world. But we're so excited that like it's an attractive place for authors to come and be productive. So
Definitely.
Like, how did you start? Like, where did you find your passion for writing, and why are you choosing that path right now? Like, why is that attractive to you right now?
Yeah, that's so exciting. I love to see their books on display up here, and it's just kind of confirmation like, oh, people, this isn't just all in the clouds, like actual things are getting published and put out. So that's inspirational for me and motivational. I majored in English in college, so there's that, you know, which is not super lucrative as a career. I did technical
Something
writing.
Parents are thrilled with, right?
Yes,
you're like,
exactly.
I'd love to be a writer.
So I did have a technical writing job for a while, which was not inspiring at all. But then I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 14 years. But I've kind of dabbled here and there. I enjoy writing. It's a good medium for me. I feel like I can think. Writing helps me think more clearly, you know, like if I watch a video or if I listen to a podcast or have a conversation, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other for me. But writing forces me to crystallize and clarify. So I like that. So I think I started out with nonfiction stuff just for my own purposes. Like, I want to understand this issue. I want to understand abortion. I want to understand the Bible. I want to understand socialism, you know, all these things. And then the problem I run into with that is it can make people mad. So now I'm kind of actually dabbling in fiction, because you just have so much more freedom and you can kind of pull in these ideas and these, you know, things about life.
I feel like Jodi Picoult does that really well. Like, she does those real world things, but it makes me so stressed sometimes, because like I'll get really emotionally invested in these fictional stories, but it does absolutely is inspired from real world events.
Totally. And I think it's, you know, even though it's fiction, in a way it's more honest because it's humanized, right? So in a fiction story, you can't just say, here are these points X, Y, Z about this issue. It's like, oh, someone is walking through this, but they have internal conflict about it because they've also walked through this. And that's more real life, you know? And so I feel excited about that opportunity to kind of explore some of these ideas in a personalized, like humanized context.
So are you afraid in your nonfiction writing, like which you've said makes people mad, because it does, we are emotionally invested in political issues, whether we think we are or not.
Totally.
It always makes us feel something.
Right.
So are you afraid of making people mad? Like, or is that something that you've grown up past? I still haven't decided how I feel
I
about
know.
that.
I'm still working on it. My personal conviction right now is that the space is currently dominated by people on the extremes.
Yeah.
That's who's not afraid to talk about stuff. And so the rest of us, which is the most of us, which are a little bit more moderate, maybe a little bit more conflicted in our opinions, just stay out of it because we're like, that's yucky. I don't want any part of that. I'm just going to be quiet and mind my own business. And I think that's why we have a lot of the problems we have with polarization, with division, with a lack of understanding and honestly cohesion in our culture. So right now I'm in my phase of being an outspoken moderate, which is like,
is that like a title that's out there? Like, is that a thing?
I think that I drew from David French on that. I don't know if he used those exact words, but he talks a lot about the exhausted majority, and how the majority of people don't like any of the nonsense in the way these things are talked about, but they just don't have the energy to participate.
Yes.
So I drew from that idea and kind of decided, okay, I'm going to force myself to be outspoken, but I'm going to be outspoken and say things that are like super reasonable, you know? And it's been really rewarding because people will come to me privately and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you for sharing. I think that too, but I'm afraid to say it, type of thing. And that feels really good to me. That feels like, okay, I think I'm on the right track. I think this is important in this moment.
Absolutely. So you mentioned David French. Are there other authors out there, fiction or nonfiction, who have inspired you to step bravely into this space, or ones that you just really enjoy reading their pieces and their work?
I read, I just finished a book by Richard Rohr. He's a Franciscan father. He's really old, actually. He's ill. He's kind of near the end of his life, but it's so beautiful because he has just decades of wisdom, distilled down, and he's at that point where he's like not beating around the bush. Like he's just gonna say something, and it's so simple. Then you're like, yeah, that's actually the main point of life that you just now said in that sentence. So I love him as like a kind of spiritual thought leader. Sarah Bessey, I have followed her for a long time. She is, she's a Christian, and she has managed to remain a Christian despite kind of a pretty intensive deconstruction. And so for me, that's been really just a really good leadership, like good spiritual leadership, to kind of walk through this. Like, we don't have to actually throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we can be a lot more honest about these kind of gaping holes or like issues in the faith story that we were handed.
Absolutely. So we kind of have a funny friendship origin story. So was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago that we went on our hike?
2 years ago.
Okay, so Carrie was training to go hike the Grand Canyon rim to rim. And she posts on social media that she's doing these training hikes that I mention, I've heard Guadalupe Peak is like a fun place to hike. And she's like, yes, absolutely, let's go. And so we schedule, you very well prepared for this with walking sticks.
I had the sticks.
You had a first aid kit.
I did.
And you booked a yurt, which I did not fully understand what
it was so romantic. Wasn't it romantic?
It really, really was. So we navigated to this location in the middle of a desert with no lights, because lights were not allowed because light pollution is a thing out there. And are trying to find our yurt with a headlamp that is dying because I tossed it in at the last minute, and with a wheelbarrow because you had to park literally
so far
200 yards.
But don't forget about that. First, we went to the pile of tires.
Yes, it navigated us to a pile. It was literally
like a dump for tires.
A dump.
Yeah.
And Carrie calls the Airbnb booking person and is like, we're at the trash heap.
Yeah.
And she's like,
where next?
Where from here? And we had actually like passed it in a way, and Google Maps was just misleading us, I think. But so we stay in this yurt, which is literally a fabric, like it's a tent. It's a tent. And you told me, and you sent me the Airbnb like booking, but I did not look and like fully internalize that it was electricity free, as tents are. And like, so you have this generator power block thing that you're like, hey, look, I brought this. And I was like, well,
you're like, oh yeah, my phone.
That was really smart of you, because I have nothing to plug this into. And so thank you for sharing your power that night.
It was glamping. There were mattresses.
There were
mattresses.
But also nothing between us and the coyotes.
The coyotes, yeah, which we could hear.
And
the other
like
campers.
A thin piece of fabric.
Yeah.
And then
I saw this meme yesterday that was like, hiking is 50% people who love hiking and 50% people who were lied to.
That was me. Because, okay, so here's where I was lied to, I feel like, unintentionally through social media. But like, I had seen posts of so many people like at the very top of Guadalupe Peak, like doing the, we made it kind of thing. And I felt like I was in at least as good or better shape than they were. Yeah. And so I was like, there's absolutely no problem here.
Yeah.
I will
easy peasy
help you in this way by training with you for this fun adventure. And I was dying. Like 20 minutes into this thing, there's those stairs as you like start.
That was tough.
And like Carrie's just like, and as she had been training and I had done nothing to prepare for this except put my butt in the car and come along with you.
You were fine. She was fine. You're in good shape. Yeah. It was steeper than I thought. It was steeper
and
than I
thank you
thought.
for offering me
and
a
it was
pole.
hot. It was hot at some points.
Yes, I did get the zip-off pants, which I have
that was a highlight.
made fun of my mother for, but I was like, like a day before, I was like, what am I going to wear on this hike?
Yeah.
And thus I went to Academy and got the zip-off pants.
Yeah.
And so I had the shorts and had to stuff the
shins
into my backpack. But
I mean, I don't know which is worse, zip-off, or I just had like khakis, like hiking khakis.
Yes.
And you don't see a lot of people just
you can't work on your tan
wearing khakis these days.
No. I saw people who were like in the booty shorts and a tank top literally running up this mountain. And I feel like
it's so ridiculous.
I'm glad I'm not in that life stage.
They're like wearing Birkenstock sandals. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the people who were hiking it with their infant strapped on one side and their 2-year-old on the back, just like lapping us up and down the mountain. And I'm like, I am not a mountain goat, as it turns out.
We are lower key.
But you did hike rim to rim that year with your sister for her 40th birthday.
It was a down and back. I can't say it was rim to rim, but yeah, we went down 10 miles, spent the night at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and then back up the South Rim. It was amazing.
So impressed.
It was so amazing.
I
would do it again for sure.
Would you?
Yes.
Like even with your knees and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I just taped it and took some ibuprofen. It was fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything was fine. Yeah, we had a couple incidents that we learned from that we would handle differently, and it was in June, so it was too hot. Like, it's a lottery system to get to stay in the cabins at the bottom.
Okay.
And so my sister had applied, and she got it, and she was so excited because it was right around her birthday, which was in June. So retrospectively, we're like, this is why you got a spot, because if you hike the Grand Canyon in June, you die. Like, we saw someone get airlifted out. Like, one of the people in our group ended up kind of passing out for a while. It was
just for a minute or so.
Yeah,
no big deal.
45 minutes, but yeah, we had to hike at night a lot because it's like if it's between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. you cannot be hiking uphill in the Grand Canyon in the summer, or you'll die. So
it's a death.
Yeah, it's a death. My sister gave me a book titled "Death in Grand Canyon."
Oh, that's
just
nice
like
of her.
homework. Yeah,
she's like, read this, research.
Be prepared. You don't want to end up in this book, second edition.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're not reading that now. What are you mentioned the book that you finished. What are you reading now?
Okay, so for book club, which we share together, this month's selection is Ina Garten's memoir.
Is it Ina or Ina?
Oh no, I've always said Ina, but I don't know. What do you think? You think it's Ina?
I guess it's Ina. Okay, we'll
look it up. We'll fact check that. But she's like a chef, and Her book is called, I think, Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
Yes, I've loved
and
it.
It's so good. I didn't know that it was going to be a love story about her sweet husband, Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
And then she worked in the White House. Like, that was the thing.
Randomly was like an analyst for nuclear energy before she became a chef. So I'm enjoying that, and that's why I love book club, because it's like stuff that I wouldn't have picked.
I never would have picked that.
I never would have picked it, and I am loving it. And we're going to do a potluck, which will be so fun. What are you making? The only recipe of hers that I know is a tried and true for me is a potato salad.
Okay.
It's really good. It's like with red potatoes instead of white, and it has fresh dill. And like if I need to bring potato salad, I'm doing that recipe. So I have that bookmarked in my mind, but I might poke around online a little bit and see.
I have not familiarized myself with any of her recipes. Like, I don't have, you have a few of those that I really love Paula Dean's banana pudding recipe, and I love some of Pioneer Woman's has a few things. So I don't have one of those from Ina. So the first one that popped up whenever I was looking was the jalapeno margarita recipe that she has. And
you can't go wrong.
I will be bringing jalapeno margaritas to book club. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a curious mix, I think, for sure.
And jalapeno margaritas and potato salad.
I've always been a little anti her, and I think it's just because the name, the Barefoot Contessa, feels pretentious to me.
I am so glad you said that, because I feel too like she seemed really uppity.
She did, and her recipes are very fussy sometimes. It's like, don't use salted butter, because if you do, it'll mess it up, and really particular. So that has been off-putting to me in the past, but
reading her book, you understand why now.
Yeah, and she's not uppity at all. It's just she wants the food to be good.
Yes.
So that's fair. I love rules and instructions, so I'm here for it now that I know the backstory.
Okay, last question, just because you mentioned that. Are there rules that you follow within your own writing?
Yeah, I have some kind of guiding principles for myself. I mean, fact checking is huge, especially, with anything, even with fiction, like the novel that I'm working on. What I did first was just kind of look up, did this city even exist in this time period? And what was the population, and what universities were there? And, because I'm wanting to form these characters, which you need details for. And
you have to form the backstory.
You have to form the backstory. So that, but then of course in nonfiction, with something like immigration, I'm pretty stringent about that. You can't just read something and be like, okay, that's that. Where did this come from? And, did they even have a good reason to say that? And that type of thing. So that's a big one. And I think this is for my writing, but just online presence in general. My kind of little mantra that I have for myself is tell the truth, which kind of lines up with the fact checking. Be a human, because that is vanishing, right? Our online presence is so moderated and tweaked and kind of disconnected from ourselves a lot of times. And it's so, I don't know, it's sad. And I think especially with the advance of AI, literally being a human is an asset, you know? So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is offer something good. Because again, the internet is just filled with so much, and some of it's good and some of it's ooh, that just made me feel icky. It didn't do anything for me. So offering something good, whether that's humor or something helpful or an encouragement.
Thank you so much for your time and hanging out with me today. Where can we find you? What are you working on? Are you on social media?
Oh, thank you for having me. I love being here. I love Second Story. It's been so fun to come, and honestly, after being a stay-at-home mom for so long, to just feel like an adult and have an office and get coffee and have a desk.
Wear professional clothes.
I really like it. Like it. So thank you for providing the opportunity for me. My website is just my name, carriestallings.com. So you can find my kind of blog entries there.
And you're a Carrie.
Yes, ma'am.
Not a
That's
K-E.
Important. Okay. There are so many ways to spell Carrie, and I'm a Carrie. Yep, carriestallings.com. I'm on Instagram, Stalica, Stallica, and Facebook is just my name.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.